Discover the path to success with this proven and effective method that will lead you to achieve your goals one by one. From building a house to constructing a life, you will learn how each small task completed successfully is one step closer to achievement. Join us on this thrilling journey of self-discipline, focus, and determination to live each day as if it were an opportunity to triumph. If everything we do during the day is a success, that is, if we do it to the best of our ability, we can fall asleep that night with the peace of mind knowing that we have done the best we could. Our day has been successful. The triumph of successfully placing one more stone. This is the way to truly live, to acquire the habit of success, and that's why successful people go from one success to another. Because it's a habit for them, you just need to succeed in the small tasks of each day. This makes it a successful day, and with enough of these, you'll have a week, a month, year, and a lifetime of successes. This business of living the best we can, one day at a time, has an almost incredible cumulative effect on good, for success, and for the things we want. Sometimes, when we see a mason starting a construction and laying the first brick, we are struck by the magnitude of the work ahead. But one day, almost before we realize it, it's finished. The thousands of bricks are in place, each vital to the finished structure and each sharing its part of the load. This is how the days of human life should be, and we will be proud and happy with the finished product. We have defined success as the progressive realization of a worthy goal. The purpose of this message is to inform you of a wonderful way to keep achieving, to keep accomplishing your goals one after another in the years to come. Sometimes a goal seems so far off, and our progress often seems painfully slow that we tend to get discouraged. Sometimes it seems like we'll never make the leap and we're about to fall back into old habits that, while comfortable now, lead nowhere. Well, there is a way to overcome this. It has been successfully used by many of the world's most successful people and has been advocated by many of the greatest thinkers. It is to live successfully. One day at a time. A life is made up of days strung together into weeks, months, and years, broken down into a single day and then further still to each task of that day. A successful life is nothing more than many successful days together. It will take you many days to reach your goal. If you want to reach this goal in minimal time, each day must count. Think of a single day as a block with which you are building the tower of your life. Just as a mason can only lay one stone at a time, you can only live one day at a time, and it's how these stones are laid that will determine the beauty and strength of your tower. If each stone is laid successfully, the tower will be a success. If, on the other hand, the stones are placed randomly, the entire tower is in danger. Now, this may seem like a rather elementary way of looking at it, but I want to make my point clear. It is a good and logical way to view human life. Alright, so let's take it one day at a time, from when we wake up in the morning until we fall asleep that night, keeping our goal in mind as often as possible. Now, each day consists of a series of tasks of all kinds, and the success of a day depends on the successful completion of most of these tasks. This is truly the way to live. Do everything you can do each day. You don't need to overwork or rush through your work blindly, trying to do as many things as possible in the shortest time possible. Don't try to do today's work or next week's work today. It's not so much the quantity of things you do, but the quality, the efficiency of each action separately. Gradually, the number of tasks will increase, and you'll perform them much more efficiently. That's why I say success is not a matter of luck, far from it. It can be predicted and guaranteed, and anyone can achieve it by following this plan. Almost before you know it, you'll have achieved your goal. Looking back, you'll realize that your success wasn't attributable to any day, week, or month. Rather, it was the relentless and successful succession of unique days that worked. This is how a skyscraper, a house, or a human life is successfully built, one successful day at a time, and each day comprises a collection of successful tasks, one successful task at a time to move to the place you've chosen. Two things are necessary. 1. You must keep your goal in sight. 2. Continue to grow in competence and efficiency. Don't be impatient. Don't let hundreds of small distractions that try to divert you from your course bother you. Don't pay attention to them. Stay on track, focus on each task of the day from morning to night, and do each one as successfully as possible. Life very well that if each of your tasks, or at least most of them, is successfully completed, your life must be a success, there's no other outcome. There's no way around it. The men and women who are sure to advance are those who become too big for their jobs, who have a clear concept of what they want to be, who know they can become what they want to be, and who are determined to be so. Remember at this moment that people become exactly what they decide to be. You're too big for your current job. If it's obvious to you that you are, it will also be obvious to others. As a rule, people are not given promotions, they are promoted by becoming too big for their jobs and deciding exactly what larger and better jobs or incomes they're aiming for. And this is done by taking one day at a time, one task at a time. Every day. But how do we separate the important tasks from the unimportant ones? Have you ever heard of the idea of a man being paid $25,000? It was worth every penny. It is said that the president of a large steel company had granted an interview to an efficiency expert named I.B. Lee. Lee was telling his potential client how he could help him do a better job managing the company when the president interrupted him to say something to the effect that he wasn't managing as well now as he knew. He went on to tell Lee that what was needed was not more knowing, but much more doing. He said, "We know what we should do. If you can show us a better way to do it, I'll listen and pay you whatever you ask for, within reason." He said he could give him something in 20 minutes that would increase his efficiency by at least 50%. He then handed the executive a blank sheet of paper and told him, "Write on this paper the 6 most important things you have to do tomorrow." The executive thought about it and did as he was asked. It took him about 3 or 4 minutes. Then Lee said, "Now number them in order of importance to you and the company." That took another 3, 4, or 5 minutes. Then Lee said, "Now put the paper in your pocket and tomorrow morning take it out and look at item number 1. Don't look at the others, just at number 1, and start working on it. And if you can, stay with it until it's completed. Then take item number 2 the same way, then number 3, and so on, until you must leave it for that day. Don't worry if you only finish 1 or 2 items on your list. The others can wait. If you can't finish them all with this method, you couldn't have finished them with any other method, and without some system, you'd probably take 10 times longer to finish them, and you might not even have them in order of importance. Do this every working day." Lee continued, "Once you're convinced of the value of this system, have your men try it. Try it as long as you want and then send me your check for what you think the idea is worth." The whole interview lasted no more than half an hour. In a few weeks, according to the story, the president of the company sent Lee a check for $25,000, with a letter saying that the lesson was the most financially profitable he had learned in his life. And it is said that this plan was largely responsible for turning what was then an obscure steel company into one of the world's largest independent steel producers. The idea of taking things one at a time in the right order, of sticking with a task until it is successfully completed before moving on to the next one, of living one day at a time. For the next 7 days, try the $25,000 idea in your life. Tonight, write on a sheet of paper the 6 most important things you must do tomorrow. Then, number them in order of importance. Tomorrow morning, first thing, start working on item number 1 and continue with it until you successfully complete it. Then move on to number 2, and so on. When you've finished the 6, take another sheet of paper and repeat the process. You'll be surprised and delighted by the order this brings to your life and the speed with which you'll be able to accomplish the things you need to do in order of importance. This simple but tremendously effective method will eliminate all confusion from your life. You'll never find yourself going around in circles, wondering what to do next. By using this method, remember to live the best you can, one day at a time. You don't need to worry about tomorrow, or the next day, or what will happen at the end of the month. One day at a time, successfully improving. This method will allow you to overcome all obstacles and solve all problems. You can relax, knowing that successful tasks make successful days, which, in turn, build a successful life. This is the kind of unquestionable logic that no one can argue with. It will always work for everyone. The reason for writing down only the most important things you must do is obvious. Successfully managing each task during the day is important, as far as the task itself is important. Successfully doing many unnecessary things can be a waste of time. Make sure the tasks you spend time efficiently completing are important tasks, tasks that consistently move you towards your goal. Very often, young people in school worry about getting a passing grade. They think about all they'll have to do before the school year ends. By following this course of action, they can stop worrying altogether and count on excellent grades. Freshmen in high school and college often find themselves plagued with doubts about whether they'll be able to successfully complete the following 4 years and graduate. 4 years seem like a long time to them, almost an eternity, and this thought sometimes leads to a kind of abandonment, fear of failure. It was the great teacher and psychologist at Harvard University William James who said, in effect, that students shouldn't worry about the success of their efforts. If they do each day the best they can at the work they have in front of them, one day they'll wake up and find themselves among the competent people of their generation. Student, junior executive, homemaker, senior executive, or professional. This plan works for everyone. It eliminates doubt, fear, and worry, and puts order in our lives. All any of us must do is face each day cheerfully, knowing that we only must succeed today to ensure our future. In this way, we'll advance steadily, becoming more competent and confident as the days go by. Others may seem to suddenly shoot ahead and operate in fits and starts, but it is with constancy that rewards are finally paid. Saint Edmund, Archbishop of Canterbury, was right when he said, "Work as if you were going to live forever. But live as if you were going to die tomorrow." Now, try writing down the 6 most important things you must do tomorrow. Then, number them in order of importance. Really do this first thing tomorrow morning. Tackle item number 1 and stick with it until it's completed. If something forces you to postpone it, move on to number 2, but prioritize your tasks and complete them in order, as best you can, and try not to let yourself be distracted by people or things. I have pinned a great saying by Ernest Hemingway on the wall next to my typewriter. He said, "Write the best you can and finish what you start." There's nothing mysterious or capricious about achieving extraordinary success, completely under our individual control, and it's predictable. It's simply a matter of doing certain things in a certain way every day. That's all. If you have that goal to work towards, there's no valid reason in the world why you shouldn't achieve success in your field, in your family life, and in your community. Remember that everything in the limitless universe operates according to the law of cause and effect. There are no exceptions to this. Nothing happens by accident. For every result there is a cause. You just must take care of the cause. The effect will always, without exception, take care of itself. Good cause, good effect. No cause, no effect. Bad cause, bad effect. It's as reliable as the sunrise. This business of doing the best we can one day at a time has an almost incredible cumulative effect on good, for success, and for the things we want. Sometimes, when we see a mason starting a construction and laying the first brick, we are struck by the magnitude of the work ahead. In conclusion, remember that success is not a final destination but a daily journey. Adopt this method, live each day with intention, and watch as your life transforms into a masterpiece of accomplishments. Don't wait any longer to start building your path to success.